Welcome. Namaste, beautiful souls. I am here today to introduce a mini series that I am offering as a continuation of a practice that I began during my Advent Calendar Series 2025. The intention for this 3-day workshop is to give you an alternative practice to a daily tarot draw. And I've called this mini series Emotions and the Tarot. Many of you know that I have over the past, I think the first one was about 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, taught a course called Tarot and the Chakras, or Tarot Through the Chakras. And I did 2 classes, then I revised the course, and it became Tarot Through the Chakras Revisited. And through my own practices, I have really come to connect with the medicine of the chakras and found some pretty potent connections between the tree of life, the chakras, and the tarot. And what I'm going to offer in this mini series is a deeper understanding of the sacral chakra, the second chakra, and some practices that you can do to help with the healing of your sacral chakra. One of the most important aspects, and there are so many layers. This is a really difficult chakra to work with. But one of the aspects that is essential is to become more comfortable with an understanding of your emotions and how the energy moves through your body emotionally. And the practice that I offered in December was one where you take a tarot deck, you shuffle the deck, and you respond to a card emotionally. And today I'm going to demonstrate that with 2 different decks. I have a Marseille style deck, Taroki 23, and then I will also demonstrate this with the Bonestone Tarot, the mass market edition of the Bonestone Tarot. So here we go. With all tarot readings, I want to be familiar of where I am in time and space, astrologically, energetically. I'm aware that I'm at the end of a very challenging week at work. I know that we have moved into the 3rd decan of Pisces, and this decan is not an easy one to work with. This is where Mars begins its journey through late spring, or late winter, early spring, last decan of Pisces, first decan of Aries. 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is such a complex card. We also change court cards here. The Queen of Wands picks up her torch, and we're in this place of the end of the Moon card, which again, very complicated, many layered card. And so I want to reflect where we are decanically, personally, and then just take a moment and think about my own emotional body. And like I said, this has been a very stressful week at work, and I am, as always, asking myself about my responses to things that have happened, and how this amazing tool can help me to work through what I am experiencing. And as with every reading, I ask that this be in the highest for the greatest good, and that no harm be done. So be it. And I chose this deck because it is just full of beautiful expressions. So I will be surprised if a pip card shows up here, being that this exercise is one of expression. And so if it is a pip card, that will have something interesting to say. And it is a pip card. All right. This looks like a weaving. It feels, in a way, my response here is quite creative. I'm feeling a sense of a project, maybe almost inspired. It's so harmonious and beautifully balanced. The weavings are, they're taut. Everything is fitted together so nicely. The tassels are beautifully trimmed. It looks like something that I would love to make and to place at the center of my dining room table. It would be really, really fun. And when I'm crafting, I just feel so, I don't know, inspired, and it makes me feel good to work with my hands. I am mindful. This is an 8, and eights feel kind of flowy. That's something that inspires me with the 8s. Always sort of go tree of life and think how the 8s they balance the 7s. And when I think about that in terms of crafting and weaving and how perfect this is, it almost feels like it's mathematical in its arrangement, the way it's all sort of gone together. And so I feel like it's kind of disciplined in a way. That a disciplined practice, such as weaving or even quilting. I've been looking at some quilting videos lately. It might be a way to help calm my nerves. And so if I was to choose a word, if I were to choose a word, an emotion to go along with this card, it's either somewhere between inspired or almost calming. Calming. And I think I'm going to go with the calming energy. And so that's something that I was not kind of expecting here. So that's definitely an emotion that would be in my highest to work with and to think about, what do I need to do to work to become that way, to feel that way. Now, part of the practice we did in December was to think about the opposite of that. And for me, that would be, a great deal of chaos, discombobulation, a real frenetic energy. And so what we're going to do in the class is to learn how to move between that which you need, for me, a calming energy, and its opposite emotion. And that, for me, that opposite emotion right now is how I have been feeling. This practice is to experience both and to learn how they indeed weave together. And I'm going to do this practice again with the Bone Stone Tarot. Perhaps a different kind of experience. Perhaps it will also reflect what just happened. And of course, because I have just done a pull, there's something that's already beginning to move through me. And when I think of the martial energy associated with the present decan and the Queen of Wands, and maybe even the goddess energy of the moon, I feel like this kind of exercise is so important because it makes me want to do better and maybe even take care of myself in ways that, without a conscious exercise like this, that I might not do. So this is the 9 of Cups. It looks a bit like a temperance card. I look at the peacock feathers and I think of India, Vishnu. I think of kind of a magical energy, a healing energy. And it feels like in this particular card that there's a real importance to giving. The Nine of Cups is such an important card, decanically, planetarily speaking, with Jupiter ruling Pisces, with Jupiter being the decanic ruler. There's a greatness here. There's a greatness to the medicine that she is dispensing, a generosity. And when I look at this card and I reflect on my week, it encourages me in that all that I am giving away energetically, the intensity of the energy, that I am placing into my work is for the greater good. That indeed I have a lot to share. It gives me permission, even greater permission, to share. And it makes me think that all that I have learned and all that I know and all that I am in my role, and I'm talking about my 9 to 5 kind of work in education, that it's important that I'm still working there. So it feels really, really encouraging. So continue to give, continue to share. And it feels like the sharing and the giving is indeed a balm, a medicine of sorts. So when I look at this card, I think about generosity. Generosity is a word that I feel. And so in an exercise, I would be working with sort of a hoarding energy, containing all that I have, sort of a shadowy side of the Four of Coins kind of energy. So as we work through responding to tarot cards, and I will give you a chart for a daily 30 or 40-day practice. I will, on each of the episodes, also give you an additional exercise or two to expand and to work with the cards that you have drawn. And additionally, connect this to the healing and the working with and the awakening of your sacral chakra, and how important this work is for your health and your wellness in general. All you need for this class is a deck of cards. Could be a tarot deck, could be an oracle deck, a willingness to have a hard look at what you are moving through at this time. And though these classes will be shared in a live stream, there is no need for you to share if you feel that this is too personal. This is simply the easiest way for me to deliver this material. And of course, the 3 classes will be recorded for you to review at any time. For more information and to register for the class, simply go to the website you see listed here on the screen. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment below. Thank you. Take good care. Namaste.